Hi, this is Melissa from Resilience Law, and one of the questions I get asked a lot by my claimants is whether filing for workers' compensation is the same as suing their employer. People don't want to go about this in bad faith and sue their employer. They don't feel great about doing that, so I'm here to tell you that filing for workers' compensation is not at all the same as suing your employer. First of all, workers' compensation typically is a no-fault claim, so you don't have to prove it was your employer's fault that you were injured. There's no element of proving whose fault it was in most cases. You were hurt at work doing work for your employer, so your employer has to compensate you for your injuries and the time that you've lost due to your work injury. So that is in everybody's best interest because it encourages your employer to keep their job as safe as possible so that employees aren't getting hurt all the time. And it makes it so that the injured worker is not left in the position to have to prove that their claim was due to their employer's negligence or anything like that. There are some cases where the employer's negligence comes into play, but most of the time it's a no-fault situation, no-fault calculation. Secondly, your employer typically is never going to be paying out of pocket for your work-related injury. They have an insurer. In Massachusetts, it's required for all employers to have workers' compensation insurance. And of course, all federal injuries are covered by the federal workers' compensation. So your employer is not paying for your treatment or your wage replacement out of their pocket. It's coming from the insurer's pocket. And that's why they have insurance to pay these claims. And then finally, typically, these claims are not contentious. There are some claims where the employer really has it out for the employee, and in that case, it's going to be more like you're suing them, particularly for small mom and pop places. But typically, if you're working for some big organization, they don't care that you're filing for workers' comp. They want you to get these benefits that you are eligible for because you got hurt at work. They feel terrible about that. Typically, you're going to be dealing with the insurance agency's lawyers, and you're never going to have to face down your boss and kind of go at them like you're suing them. That's just not how the workers' compensation system is run, and that's not what it's all about. Again, there were some oddball cases where there was some extreme negligence on behalf of the employer where special fines might come into consideration. But for the average workers' compensation claim, it's just not a contentious process. You're not suing your employer. You're just getting the wage replacement and medical bills paid that you need to survive after you've been hurt on your employer's behalf. So I think that that's, definitely an idea that many people have in their head that they don't want to sue their employer. They don't want to hurt their employer. Filing a workers' compensation claim isn't hurting anybody. Failing to file one can definitely hurt you down the line, particularly if your injury is more severe than you think it may be. I've seen very minor injuries turn into lifelong conditions. And so that's the last thing that you want to have happen for you. So I want to kind of ease that burden of guilt off of anybody's back who's thinking about filing workers' compensation and maybe feels guilty or bad for suing their employer. You're not suing anyone. The workers' compensation statute in Massachusetts and federally is a no-fault statute. You're not claiming they hurt you on purpose or they hurt you negligently. You're just saying, listen, I got hurt at work and I want my employer to pay for it. And that's what the statute is designed to do. If you have any questions or if you were hurt at work, give me a call. My name is Melissa at Resilience Law. Let's get started.